My family abandoned my 18-year-old daughter in a do-not-travel country without a passport. That was hilarious, my nephew laughed. You should have seen her face, his sister added. I didn't yell. I started making moves the next morning. Security was banging at their door. When they finally walked into the resort lobby, I did a double take, my parents, my sister Kendra, her 2 kids Max and Savannah, all present and accounted for, laughing, chatting, acting like this was just another vacation. But Rose wasn't with them. My daughter, my 18-year-old. I looked again, expecting to see her trailing behind, maybe she'd stop to grab water or use the bathroom. But no one looked back, no one mentioned her. I felt my husband Darius shift beside me. He noticed too. Where's Rose? I asked, came out sharper than I meant. I was trying to sound casual, but something in me was already sitting up straight. Dad didn't even slow down. She's probably on the next flight. Next flight? I repeated. Mom waved a hand. She lost her passport during the layover, some mess at the airport. She's figuring it out. There was a pause in my chest, one of those moments where your body knows something is wrong before your brain finishes loading the page. She lost it during the layover? I said, trying to keep my voice even. In London? They all hesitated, the kind of hesitation that makes your stomach fall through the floor. Not quite, Dad said. Darius shifted beside me. What does that mean, not quite? Oh well, our original flight got cancelled, Mom said, like it was a fun twist. But your dad found us a better deal, 2 layovers. We saved a bundle. The airline staff didn't even want to tell us about it, but your dad pushed. I don't even think they put it online, Dad added proudly. Sudan was faster and cheaper. Win-win. Darius blinked. Sudan? I turned toward them fully now. You rerouted through Sudan? Dad shrugged. There were plenty of seats. They even gave us compensation for the cancelled leg. We ended up ahead. And where did she lose the passport? I asked, though I already knew. In Sudan, he said. You're kidding. I looked from face to face, hoping one of them would crack a smile. That's a joke, right? Silence. Right? I repeated. Kendra looked bored. Savannah was already on her phone. Max elbowed her and grinned. You should have seen her face when she realized, he said. It was hilarious. Savannah snorted. She totally freaked, like full panic mode. I thought she was going to faint. I wish I'd filmed it, Max added. She looked like one of those people in prank videos. I stared at them. I wasn't sure what stunned me more, the words or the tone, like they'd watched someone drown and thought it was entertaining. You left her, I said quietly. You actually left her behind. Mom crossed her arms. We didn't leave her. She lost her passport. She's 18, Dad said. She's not a baby. Kendra sighed. You're blowing this out of proportion. She said she'd handle it. You're telling me, I said slowly, that my daughter lost her passport in a do-not-travel zone, and you left her there alone? She's smart, Mom said. You've always said that. Darius stepped forward now. His voice was calm, but I could see the line in his jaw. Why didn't you stay with her? One adult, just one of you could have stayed back and missed the flight. Dad looked genuinely confused. We're already here. What else were we supposed to do? You were supposed to not reroute through a high-risk country in the first place, Darius said. You were supposed to tell us. We didn't want drama, Kendra muttered. And now you've got it, I shot back. I pulled out my phone and started calling. Straight to voicemail. Darius tried hers too. Nothing. Maybe her phone died, Mom offered. Which desk? I asked. The one in the airport where you left her? No one answered that. You're always acting like she can't function without you, Dad said. Darius let out a quiet breath that somehow sounded louder than a scream. She's alone in Sudan with no passport, no local contact, no embassy, and you thought she could function her way out of that? Savannah finally looked up. She said she didn't want to go through Sudan anyway. She kept going on and on about how unsafe it was, like it's not safe for women this and we shouldn't be rerouting that. Max snorted. She was acting like a baby. Maybe she should just stay there, she fits in better. I blinked. What did you just say? He looked up, grinning unbothered. I mean, her dad's black, right? So she fits in more than we do. Darius's arm tensed beside me. Kendra stepped in fast. He didn't mean it that way. I didn't say anything bad, Max said. I'm just saying she was freaking out over nothing. I stared at the boy, then at Kendra, then at my parents. And something cracked in me, not loudly, not like a break, more like a joint quietly slipping out of socket, painful but so subtle no one notices at first. I turned back to Darius. We're fixing this, I said. My voice didn't shake. He nodded once, already pulling up flights on his phone. Behind me, Mom called after us, you don't have to make a scene. But I wasn't making a scene, not yet. That would come later. I've spent my entire life trying to earn decency from people who only ever offered me conditions. Growing up, Kendra could have set the house on fire and my parents would have said, she's just expressive. Meanwhile, I got grounded once for asking what Joa meant during dinner. Apparently, I was being smug. You'd think adulthood would even things out, but no, the golden child glow-up carried on right into motherhood. Kendra had Max and Savannah, and suddenly she was the heroic single mom who did her best. Every time she let them eat candy for dinner or screamed at a cashier, Mom would just whisper, parenting is hard. Meanwhile, when Rose was 4 and cried at a birthday party because she didn't want to hit the piñata, my dad said she was too sensitive. You have to toughen her up, he told me. Can't baby her forever. By the time Rose hit high school, she was winning awards left and right, honor roll, math club champion, a citywide science grant at 17. And yet, every time she accomplished something, someone in the family would redirect. That's great, Mom said once, but you don't want to be just academic. You should try a sport too, like basketball. Basketball? She's 5 feet 2 inches with asthma and coordination issues. But sure. Or my personal favorite, being smart is good, but being well-rounded is better. This from the same people who framed Max's first macaroni craft like it was a gallery piece. They always said she was so mature for her age, but it came with an asterisk. It meant she was expected to put up with everything, laugh off backhanded compliments, absorb comments about her hair being distracting or her voice being too sharp. Darius, my husband, Rose's father, used to say we were imagining things, that maybe it wasn't racism, just generational blindness, that we couldn't prove intent. And I clung to that for years because the alternative hurt too much. But looking back now, who was there? Who was always there? I thought if we were generous enough, gracious enough, they'd see who Rose really was, that maybe they'd love her for it. That's why I paid for this whole vacation, the hotel, the meals, the excursions, even the flights. It was my idea, a way to celebrate the business milestone Darius and I had reached, and maybe, stupidly, a way to bring everyone closer. I should have known better. After Rose didn't arrive at the resort, I asked them to search their bags, just to be safe. Maybe her passport slipped into someone else's backpack during security or got stuck behind a tray table and ended up with one of them by accident, I said. Kendra rolled her eyes. You think we hid it? No, I said carefully, but I think if there's even a small chance it got packed by mistake, it's worth looking. They resisted at first, acting insulted, defensive. Dad said something like, we're not the enemy here. But when I kept pushing, things got weird. Max, Kendra's 11-year-old son, suddenly wouldn't meet my eyes. Savannah looked like she was trying not to laugh. And then Kendra said, it was already too late. What did you want us to do? I turned. What? She froze. I didn't mean. Dad cut in, the point is, it's not like we planned for this. Darius stepped forward. What exactly do you mean by too late?